Be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. You can do the same at the Grizzly Gentleman for some fantastic beard products that'll make your beard look and smell great. You can also go to TCG Player using the affiliate link below and shop there to help support the show. And last but absolutely not least, go to greyvikinggames.com with the link below to get those sweet arena codes. What is up, Planeswalkers? Theric6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. Today we're going to be playing another budget build. We're going to first go through the budget iteration of Disturb, and then we're going to the non-budget iteration of the deck. Excuse me. Once again, the purpose of these videos essentially is to hopefully explain or at least show examples of some really easy ways to construct decks around an idea, and then play those decks in the unranked play queue. The reason I do unranked play queue is because a lot of individuals do have rank anxiety. I've definitely had that in the past. But in ranked, you don't have to worry. If you're up against a deck that you honestly believe is just at a completely different power level than what you're playing, you can concede and move on to the next one. Because what you want to do when you're playing games, especially in unranked queue, and when you're learning the game, and you know what, this isn't even just for beginners, this is for really anyone who's attempting to learn. And since, of course, we don't have a spectate mode, thanks Wizards, you don't have a bunch of different opportunities, potentially, at least in client, to learn. So you really want to focus on getting those games played that allow you to have learnable, teachable moments, right? If you're in a situation where you have a deck and it does really well against a creature deck, for example. Let's say it's a mid-sized creature deck. Plays a lot of kind of medium to big creatures. If you keep queuing into that same deck, sure, it means that your deck is fine against the meta, but what happens when you go to ranked, right, when you take it over to ranked, or you take it to best of 3, and now you're experiencing decks that, you know, are playing more hasty, like low-to-the-ground creatures, or they're playing heavy control, or even moderate control, where it's like tempo, for example. Sometimes it is advantageous, especially in unranked, to just concede to a deck that you don't think will benefit you. And this doesn't mean conceding as soon as you realize that you're going to lose, because there's also a lot of value in staying in a game that you are pretty sure you're going to lose, but that you might not, right? Because even if your opponent makes a mistake that allows you to win, recognizing the mistake that they made can help you. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the deck tech, and I'll talk a little bit more about some gameplay advice, I guess, coming from someone who's never hit Mythic, but it's because I don't have time. Free Chaplain of Olms. This obviously is our first showing of Disturb in the deck. Disturb essentially just allows us to recast creatures for extra benefit from our graveyard into other creatures, but if they would die, or if they would be put in the graveyard from anywhere, exile instead. Now, notably, for the most part, the only way that these backside cards can go into the graveyard is if they're on the field, so whatever. This one has First Strike, has Ward 1, very helpful. When it flips, it gains flying, it gives all your creatures Ward 1, even better. Currently, we don't have a ton of ways to buff the Chaplain of Olms, so the First Strike isn't necessarily going to be that great, but hopefully I'll have a teaching moment with multiple. With 3 Lunarch Veteran, the reason I did decide to do a 3-3 split instead of a 4-2 here is because this one is a little bit easier to pay the Disturb cost for. Creature enters, you get to gain a life, very helpful going against a more aggressive style deck. And then, of course, you flip it into flying, and then it's about creatures leaving the battlefield. We have 2 considers. I did consider having 4 of these, but I didn't really find that it fit. But what's really nice about consider here is, since our option it's not scry, we're not putting it on the bottom, we're putting it into the graveyard, we get benefit from that because our creatures, for the most part, have Disturbed. We have value with them in the graveyard. So, you know, if you're looking for a very particular creature, perhaps one that you need to gain life with, you can yeet one of the other ones that you find and hopefully draw a fresh one. 3 Baithook Angler, good old-fashioned 2-1 that turns into a 1-2. It's cheap stuff. 3 Covetous Castaways. Now, what's nice about this card is when it dies, it mills you 3, which allows you to, again, accelerate your hand. Because in this deck, your graveyard is like a second hand. And then, of course, it flips into a 3/4, which is just, and you can also shuffle cards back in, which is pretty cool. 4 Shipwreck Sifters. I did not realize this card was common when I first looked at it. Essentially, ETBs, you draw and discard. And then if you discard a Spirit, or a card with Disturb, you could put a 1/1 counter on this. So it's probably going to be a 2-mana 2/3 that allows you to kind of choose what card goes to graveyard, because every creature in the deck is either a Spirit or has Disturb. So that's pretty sick. 3 Denic Pious Apprentice. 2-mana 2/3 lifelink. Cool stuff. Your cards can't be targeted. Cool stuff. I mean, you can't target their cards, but we don't plan on it. And then, of course, flipping it turns it into a good old-fashioned 3/2. And then we get to investigate when stuff is put into graveyards. That's cool. Allows us to potentially draw some more cards. 4 Devoted Graphkeepers. Yeah, and as Battlefield mills 2 cards, again, very similar to the Castaway, allows us to fill up our resources. And then cast a spell from our graveyard. Doesn't have to be Disturb, but currently we only have Disturb. I did consider Faithful Mending, but I didn't make the cut. Then we get to tap stuff. And it turns into a 3/1. That can only block creatures with flying, but we plan on attacking with a 3/1. We got 3 Morning Patrol and 3 Overwhelmed Archivist. We have more instance of looting here. This is on ETB. On the flip side, it's on attacks, which is pretty cool. Got a lot of filtering going through the deck. And then, of course, this is a good old-fashioned 3-mana 2/3 with Vigilance. Not the best stat line. Becomes a 2/1 in flyer with Vigilance. The Vigilance doesn't matter all that much when the creature can die to anything, but still, it's helpful. 3 Patrician Geist. Why are we only running 3? Because I've, for some reason, arbitrarily decided that 6 is the right number of rares for a budget deck. 3 mana, 2/2, flying. Other spirits you control get +1/+1. Now, once again, all of our cards are either spirits or they turn into spirits. I believe every card with Disturb flips into a spirit. Additionally, spells you cast from your graveyard cost 1 less to cast. What this means is we're casting a Disturb from a graveyard. Cost 1 less. That's pretty helpful at turning these cards with a slightly higher Disturb cost into not that bad. 3 Vega the Watcher. Kind of a... Is this like the only card that isn't from Midnight Hunt? Oh my gosh, it is. Vega the Watcher is a spirit. Already works with the deck nicely. A 3-mana 2/2 flyer. Cool. And when you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hands, that includes your graveyard, you get to draw a card. Value right there. So let's go ahead and hop on into Unranked and see how things go. Yes, Dearly Departed. By the way, this is a song reference. Please let me know if you get the song reference. Comment down below. Creepy House, yet again. Yeah, but I really do. I think it's very important. Obviously, one of the best ways, one great way to get better at a game, any game really, but especially strategy games, is to consume content from people who are more experienced than you. There we go. I had to think of like the right way to say that. Because they'll be, excuse me, especially when they are used to explaining things, they will be able to explain situations that you may not have come across yet, or in detail that you may not have been able to think about yet, just because you didn't have the amount of experience. I hate everything. Wizards, fix your game. Come on, Wizards, fix your game. I legitimately, wholeheartedly recommend LVD, Legend VD. Makes a lot of standard content. He does do draft content as well, so if you're interested in getting better at draft, you can go there. I personally don't do a lot of draft content, so I'm just gonna point you over to him anyway. I really like the way he talks about his plays. I think he goes into a lot of depth and detail. I think CGB is a fantastic content creator, but he's a little bit more on the meme side, you know, which is totally valuable as well. But if you're looking for someone who is a really good player, at least in my opinion, and who is very articulate about the specific lines and plays and thought options, that you can go through in a game, I think he's a great person to watch. And again, he does a lot more standard content, whereas I do focus on historic, but I do like doing these kind of budget videos. I guess I'm just going to stop talking for a second and wait until this pops, and then I'll cut it out of YouTube. So I guess you'll get a jump cut. Back. I do hard quit. Bruh. Okay, well, real easy teachable moment here. We don't have any white mana. I mean, we do have this, which I love the idea of, but we can't keep this. We can keep this, because we're going second and we have Consider. I'm going to yeet an Archivist. Yes. So we can play the Island. Hello! Hello, friend. I don't know who this person is. I'm just saying hi. Quandrix Campus. Into Snarl. Into a Drake. Interesting. Let's go ahead and Consider. I will take that action. Put that into the graveyard. There we go. It's because I wanted another land. Well, we have all the lands we need now. We'll go ahead and play the Castaway. It's gonna take me a lot to drive me away from you. Alright, opponent on some good old-fashioned Simic, or Quandrix in this case. That's enough land. That's enough slices! Alright, so here I'm playing the Patrician's Geist, essentially to try and set up some later turns. Now, there's not really a reason for me to attack here with my Castaway, because they just have a 0/4 and they'll just block it, and nothing will happen. This way I'm leaving up a blocker. I don't think I've ever looked at this art before. That is horrifying. I mean, sure, there's spirits on them. Oh my god, that's a face. Never mind, I thought the spirits didn't have a face. Awkward. What's also awkward is the fact that, I've drawn a lot of lands. I think I'm gonna play this. Now, it's very possible that they're holding up counter magic, which is sad, but I typically am of the mindset that you force them to have it. And of course, sometimes you're just going to draw a bunch of land. We're not going to attack because we value this Geist more. They do just get to draw a card, potentially put a land. They do put a land into play. I do love these campuses. I just wish they were like better so people would play them. I mean, based on what they've played so far, I think it's a pretty reasonable deck to go. Nearly 68%. All right, let's play an Island. We can play both, I guess. So I'll play both. Play ball. I will probably attack here to essentially force them to block with this, so that I might actually be able to get air supremacy, essentially. Oh, that's not good. Let's see. That is unfortunate. So I'm going to... Dang. 3. I'm gonna block with these. The reason I'm doing this is because even though they can only kill one of them, I'm fine with either of these dying. This one doesn't give me a lot of disturbed value, but either of these do give me disturbed value. Jeez. Okay. This is a yikes. To attack with this. Disturb the Archivist? Or do we play this? 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, it doesn't have trample, so that's nice. It does fight things. But I technically have, like, chump blockers for days. I think I'm going to do this, because it allows me to see more immediately. I'm going to discard this. I am just going to... Shifter's probably going to just bite the dust to Tarrasque. Is there a way I can get out of this? I'm not sure that there is. I know it's my go. This is Ward 10. Yikes. I think the only way I can win is by playing more creatures than they can kill and hitting them in the air constantly. Easier said than done, though, unfortunately. Okay. I only have 6 mana. Isn't the best. Play the Chaplain here. I will attack. I'll get 2 damage through. But I'm fairly certain that in this situation, I can't exactly deal with a Ward 10 creature. Oof. How much do they have? They have a ton amount, right? One of my sifters dies. Plus 4. I will block this. Oh, okay. I cannot kill Koma. I could deal with maybe one of them. Couldn't deal with 2. Unfortunately, Simic Ramp will be a bane for the majority of people. Curses. Another reason that I like the budget series is because I've pre-made an updated version of the deck, and there are specific choices that I made for that deck. But getting experience with this budget version can provide insight into what the deck needs in the future. So that's why when you're going to make a deck, if you're not sure what like rare cards to craft, maybe make a budget version of that where you just you kind of replace the cards with the best thing that you can and kind of see if you do need those cards. This has to be a mulligan. I can keep this. We will get rid of, I think, the Chaplain of Alms. Hopefully, Pineapple Bump is, my fish is eating my fish. My cat is playing with her fish toy. My fish is eating the cat. Hopefully Pineapple Bun is playing a deck more conducive to our power level. Hopefully they're playing at all. Very sad. Anyway, let's go ahead and while we're sitting here, talk about our lines here. Obviously, first turn is Lunarch Veteran, easiest thing. But then, what do we do between Dennick and Shipwreck Sifters? Dennick is technically better, has lifelink, has Disturb by itself, so if it does end up dying, potentially can get it back. I believe the correct decision is Shifters here. And the reason is that almost assuredly, we're going to be able to make this become a 2-3. And it can help us fix our mana problem if we have one. Which we might not. But, if we don't have a mana problem, let's... I'm sad. I'm keeping it in. I think, if I remember, I'll just say the player ghosted me or something like that. Gray Lemon. That sounds not good. I get to go first? I don't have to mulligan? We keep those. Uh-oh. Opponent has cosmetics. They're buy to win. But pay to... I did up. Obviously, cosmetics aren't pay to win. I love cosmetics. I wish they were more ingrained into the... financial situation for the game. What? Equip creature gets +1/+1, has vigilance and trample. Equip creature token costs less. Interesting. Play our sifters here. I will yeet the angler. Very cheap cost. Main reason why I did that. Turn 3, we'll probably play the Archivist, because on turn 4, we can play this and this. Right, if we play this on turn 3, we essentially miss a land. That has double strike, which I don't appreciate. I can attach this, give it vigilance. Trying to figure out what I want to do here. I can make this into a 3/4. It would die. Is that a risk I'm willing to take? I'm essentially deciding between getting rid of the planes or getting rid of the Morning Patrol. I think I'm gonna get rid of the Morning Patrol. I'm gonna Smork with this. And I might not need to chump block because of the life that I'm gaining from the Veteran. That's fine. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and Grafkeeper here still, because this gives me a chump blocker. I get to mill some more, which probably allows me to get more stuff into my yard. And then I get to Smorkity. Excuse me. Usually I'm able to mute in time. I was not able to mute in time. And my opponent had a very low life total already. Shipwreck Sifters. They grow big. Brunor. Okay. Make this larger. Has Vigilance, which is unfortunate. Has Trample. I'll just take 16 here. Will I just take 16 here? Yeah, I'd only block 2 of it. Well, we went from doing well to potentially dying. That land did not help me. Why do I have such low toughness? This is 2. Yeah. I don't think I can kill them this turn. Yeah, I don't think I can kill them. Just block a 3-power creature. And they go to what, 3? 3, 6, 7. They go to 2. Okay, I guess they just get to go to 1. Unfortunately, we lose. Never accept a player saying good game first. It is bad manners. The way that you say good game, teaching this to all players, is the loser of the game gets first right to say good game. If they say good game, you should say it back. If they don't say a good game, you don't have to say anything. In fact, it's probably better if you don't. Don't say good game first. Because from their perspective, they might not see it as a good game. Anyway, here is the upgraded version. Now, the main things you'll notice here in the upgraded version is that we have better lands. Our land situation is a lot better. But one of the things that I noticed, I was able to draw a little bit more land than we needed. So I'm going to go ahead and cut down to 22. 22 lands instead of the 23 that I had with the other deck. Now, we're still running the same 1-1 split here. Again, I think it's reasonable. In fact, I was going to initially have this be a 4 and this is 2, because the fact that this is a disturb cost of 2, and a lot of the disturb costs in here are 4, I'm going to modify the deck. Don't be afraid to change your decks. Your deck should constantly be evolving with your evaluations of what's working and what isn't, right? Now, one of the things that we saw is the deck had 0 removal. Absolutely no removal at all. Because we're no longer budget, we can play Skyclave Apparition. Skyclave Apparition is a fantastic card for your upgrade, because not only would it be good in this context, being a spirit and having cards in here that care about spirits, but it also acts as removal, which is a weakness that we had. So I can go ahead, and now that I've lost one of these lands, I can up this to 3, giving us a little bit more removal. Now, we still have the 3 Covetous Castaways. We no longer have the Angler. I might reconsider that because of how cheap the disturb cost was. I still have 2 Morning Patrols. I didn't like this card. I didn't think it was very good. I didn't think it was very helpful. So I'm actually going to bring back 2 of those little spirity dudes. Who's the Angler. Because they have such a cheap disturb cost. We now have 4 Malevolent Hermits. 2 mana, 2/1. With a 3 disturb cost, kind of in the middle, not too bad, not too great. But we can sacrifice it to counter a non-creature spell unless it's control pays 3. We don't have any non-creatures in the deck. Yeah, we have literally no non-creatures in the deck. So the flip side doesn't really matter, but it's one of the few of these creatures that has more than 1 toughness on the back end. So it can be very beneficial. Still rocking the same number of these. But one thing you'll also notice is we've upped our Patrician Geist. This is a very strong card for us, and we were able to up it because we're no longer budgeted. Everything else is essentially the same. We just kind of tweaked numbers here and there. I'm actually considering... I think I'm actually going to drop the Hermit down 1 and up the Angler by 1. And the big reason there is just because it helps. Just double check. We have shift. We have shift. We have this. It is possible now that I might not have enough card sifting, but since we lost consider. But again, that's why you got to play your decks, and you have to play with the idea that losses give you information. In fact, I consider losses mistakes, if you will, to give you more information than if they had not occurred. We get to go first, and we can keep this hand. We don't have any land issues. We got 2 drops. We got 2 drops. So keep this. Go ahead and just play the island first. I will likely play this as a plains. Or not a plains, but I'll play it on white. And I think first up, we just play the sifters. Sifters can grow. And then, honestly, I think I might just put the angler into the yard. Make this a little bit bigger. Next turn, if they play something I don't like, I can apparition it. They might just kill my sifters, which is fair. It's raisonnable. They're on black-green of some sort. And we can... we can feel pain. Pain and anguish for what we've seen here. So I'm definitely going to be playing Dennick next turn. That would have been great the first turn. I don't want to lose any of these cards, but of the cards that I can lose, this is the one that I can lose the most. I want to maintain the land because I want to be able to play Graphkeeper and Dennick next turn. Luckily, this can't block. So, bite my ghosty hands. Yeah, so next turn, we can play these two. They play an Ugly Witch. I'd have to pay 3 life to get rid of her, which I'm fine with. But do I want to Graphkeeper Dennick first? Because I can still attack with this. I can still attack with this and be fine about it. Yeah, let's go ahead and... I guess there's no reason for me to do this before combat. No. No, there's no reason for me to do this before combat. They take some damage. We play a Graphkeeper. We do play this first because potentially we might want to just cast something. We don't want to just cast this, so we're going to go ahead and play the Dennick here. Now our opponent's Rotten Reunion is Garbo. Can't target my things. Rude. Oh, they're on Sultai. But they don't need the green? They're going to murder my Dennick and then exile stuff? Because that would be rude. But who knows? I love these little sifters. I think these are pretty awesome. Our Dennick dies a horribly painful death. And does Dennick get yeeted? We're thinking. Yeah, they're trying to figure out which of the cards in my graveyard to get rid of. And they just choose Dennick, which is fair. I would love a land here. So I can Veteran and Skyclave. I can't do that. But I can play this. And then get my Lunarch back. Because this reduces it down to 1, which is awesome. Alright, I get to tap stuff. I'll tap this. I don't know what they're holding up because I don't play Standard and I'm garbage. We definitely Smork. We don't want to Smork with this. Helpful card. How do you have two of them, you monster? How could you? Very sad matchup, to be honest. The fact that they just have these main deck and had two of them in the top 11, very sad. But you know, sometimes bad beats are gonna happen. Dude, my cat is freaking out, dude. Pop it, Stitcher. Okay, I see what they're going for. I'm going to exile it. Just incredibly rude. Could block that. I don't think it's worth it, though. Yeah, I'm not allowing you to do that. I will be attacking in the air. I will be attacking with these. Do I want to attack with these? If I attack with these... I mean, the issue is they have a lot of attackers on the crackback. So I do think... Yeah, I think actually just attacking here is best. Because it allows me to have a sizable defense and potentially kill them on the crackback. So sometimes it's not correct to just keep attacking with the creatures you've been attacking with. In racing scenarios, especially considering my opponent does have little ugly juicy bugs, it does make the math even harder. We've got to make sure we don't die. Another Sedgemoor Witch into some sort of spell. Yarp. They get to learn. Don't know what they're going to learn for. I mean, the opponent's deck is interesting, for sure. Okay. So what are they going to do? Excuse me, what? Why? Very confused. Well, I can cast this, which gives lifelink, which is nice. I can cast this. I could exile this. Just 10 here. Go to 11. And block all of these. Block, block, block. I assume this would get exiled. One of these. I'm going to exile this. I will pay the 3 life. And I will attack. So I'm attacking with both of these, and the reason for that is because if I have a single flying creature left over... Ah, no. No, that's not how that will work. Because they are going to gain potentially 6 mana, or 6 life. So they have 7 attackers. Or, sorry, 11 attackers. I'm terrible, apparently. They have 11 attackers. I assume they're going to get rid of 1, so they kill this, reducing a lot of my stuff down. This would become a 1/1, which means I wouldn't want to block with it anyway. So 11. But I do need this dies. Lifeline. Because I can let some of it through. Yes, I'm going to attack both of these. I have a method to my madness. The idea essentially revolves around you don't lose until your life total hits 0. Don't know why there was stuff on that. They're gonna exile... They exiled one of those. Interesting. That actually makes it a little bit better for me. Because now they're attacking with fewer 2/2s. They have to attack with some number of 1/1s. Although, I just don't block the 1/1s. Alright. Well, I can cast this. Mill 3 cards. Oh, this one, it dies! They have 6 blockers. This one obviously can attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, it's an interesting turning point here. Because I could attack with all of these. These would all block. So they'd have fewer creatures on board to do nonsense. But I think once again, just attacking for 1 is the correct decision here. We can stave off death. We don't die until we hit 0. And if they just attack with these, I can choose not to block. 6 is not 0. Why? It doesn't have a thing on it. Hunt for specimens. They get to learn again. But it did double tap their black. Okay, they'll gain a little bit. I'm trying to, like, lightly entertain my cat with the cat toy. Because she's going nuts. Okay. Honestly, I think its second verse, same as the first. Do I want to not do that? Is there a reason for me not to? Potentially. So I will keep this in hand. I do think we just attack here yet again. I mean, they even have more blocks, so we are giving them some turns. As soon as I hit record, my cat freaks out. Really? See, now I'm a little upset. That's incredibly dangerous. You do know you don't get your puppet back, right? I am sad that Skyclave Apparition is non-token, though. Oh, I get to choose? That does say non-token. I get to choose. Well, shoot. I think I choose this. Because it allows me to potentially find... Oh, hello. Find Answers. Do you like the first strike? It costs 4, though. So I think I'm gonna do this. Oh no! I was supposed to do this. I messed that up. I'm so mad at myself, dude. I was supposed to. Oh, that's why. Denik is why. He's doing the thing. I was supposed to discard this one and just not cast this. I'm so stupid. I just oopsed myself. Well, my opponent had an Epiphany, which is just laming. Hopefully they don't have another. Because that would suck. Okay, another one of those. Not exactly something you want to see. Yep. This play was so sad. Not what I wanted to see. Not at all. Wow. Yeah, so the reason... Yeah, So what would have changed, this is a teachable moment, is if I had discarded this, I would have cast it. This would have triggered. I would have tapped down this bird, put them to 1. I then would have had a 2/2 first striker with flying that gives my creatures ward. My opponent has 1, 2, 9, 10 blockers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 attacking creatures. These do become 3/3s. Yeah, at this point, we are functionally lost. If we just pass the turn. So I'm just gonna hope that my opponent makes a mistake. Sometimes you just have to do that. But yeah, as you can notice a single misplay can just completely divert the course of the game. I'm not saying I would have won, but it would have been closer, especially considering I would have had this in hand, which would have allowed me to dig even deeper into the deck. Yeah, the Epiphany was very annoying. And then my misplay. If it was just one of them, if it was just one or the other, I think it would have been fine, but you gotta hate Epiphany, you know? I'm actually surprised by how much they're blocking. I guess they do have to block a lot, don't they? Triggers? Alright, let's see. Wow. Well, I'm down on board. Unfortunate. But we do have a second game. I think I would have won that if I hadn't put the wrong card in the graveyard. Excuse me? Do we have an imposter among us? Have they not noticed? I mean, they obviously haven't noticed. They only have one eye. Also, no 6 would be caught dead with a Fimblethip avatar. I'm just saying. Oh, yay. It's the Teslaria deck. I do have a Skyclave, though. So if they cast Teslaria, I can app it. Otherwise, I'd probably just Archivist to get rid of one of my lands. No, pretty sure that has to go. Or Wash Ashana. Go ahead and Smork for a single digit. Play this. Probably still just play the Geist. Yeah, that makes sense. Aspirant, incredibly rude. Not what I expected. We're going to play the Angler. We're going to tap down the Aspirant. I'm Smorking for 2. And we're leaving this back because we kind of want it to die. Opponent is down to 2 cards in hand. They just level up a Cleric cast, which doesn't really do anything. Attack me? You didn't even attack? How incredibly rude. So here, I believe we can Geist, Alms, and Veteran? That appears to be correct to me. We'll do one of these. We'll do one of these. And we'll do a City of Thieves. We'll tap down the Aspirant again. And then we Smork. Grafkeeper is fantastic at allowing us to just ignore our opponent's creatures. Next turn, I can Overwhelmed Archivist to discard some stuff, I suppose. Potentially draw into another relatively cheap. Do you have a follow-up? You don't. I'm going to continue to chip at you. Oh my goodness me. It is Butamus. Absolutely Butamus. Just get rid of Castaway, to be honest. Well, so I could get rid of Castaway, but I can't recast it. So even though I'd rather cast the Archivist, I'm going to discard the Archivist because I can cast it with Disturb. We'll tap that down once again. In the air, in the air, in the air. Do I want to attack with my on-the-ground creature? I can feel it coming in the air tonight. I don't need to, because 2 turns of this is lethal. It's possible that I shouldn't have even put my Geist under threat. Is it a Cleric? It is a Cleric. I feel like I knew that. Hey, look, it's Trelasara. Trelasara. Goodness. So against other creature decks, like normal cast creature decks, seems like the deck does okay. Against decks that have Alrund's Epiphany, fun surprise, the deck doesn't do okay. Who would have thought? That said, I do kind of want to revisit Azorius Spirits in Historic. Because I feel like with Innistrad, I think we got a few more good spirits. There are really good spirits in blue-white. Blue-white. type. Well, just do spirit in general. Gosh dang it! This is why you don't do it in general. You gotta do T spirit. Yeah, I mean there really are a lot of pretty decent spirits. Oh yeah. Yep. I wonder if I could make... Never mind, that's something you'll see eventually. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you to my lovely patrons for the continued support. If you'd like to join them and support the show, you'll find links down in the description below. Of course, I hope you enjoyed this kind of long video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, all will be one.